What are some really amazing animal facts? Unlike humans, dolphins must actively decide when to breathe. Captive dolphins have been known to hold their breath until they die of suffocation, which some have suggested amounts to dolphin suicide. In clownfish, each school, tribe whatever has one female, and a head male and the others, all males. If the female dies, the head male turns into a female, and the next in line to the leadership throne would be the male leader and bang the former male leader. Yeah, clownfish are wacky. The Greenland shark reaches sexual maturity at 150 years old and lives 300-500 years. Always fascinates me that there's something that can live that long. I think that is the one that goes blind pretty quickly due to parasites but just says frick it, I barely used eyes anyway. Hippos are some of the most aggressive animals on the planet. If a crocodile is a wise hunter that chooses its battles wisely, a hippo is that one dude that's always looking for a fight because he spends way too much time at the gym and hasn't found a reasonable use for all his muscles. They are territorial as all heck, capable of charging you at almost 40 km/h on land, and frequently pick fights with whole boats. They have mouths built to kill. Those giant teeth are only for combat, and can grow up to half a meter long. That's right, hippo teeth can get as big as the average human forearm. With teeth that big, you might be asking yourself, wait, just how big are hippos? Which is a question you should never have asked, because the answer is bigger than you were comfortable knowing. Hippos are more than 1.5 meters tall at the shoulder, meaning if you wanted to stare down a hippo it would look you dead in the eye before opening its mouth more than a meter and biting you in half. A featuring made even more terrifying when you learn that hippos are primarily herbivorous and kill just for the heck of it. They can weigh more than 4,500 kilograms and grow to more than 5 meters long. They kill more than 500 people a year in Africa, and in 2014 one attacked a boat filled with Nigerian schoolchildren, killing 14 and biting the boat in half. For bonus points, let's do some physics. As we all know, Newton defined force as mass times acceleration, or F equals ma. A hippo can move at 40 km/h, which some conversions will tell us is 11.1 ms. Multiplying that by the theoretical weight of an adult male hippo will tell us that a charging hippo can hit you with 49,950 newtons of force, which, for the sake of simplicity, we'll round up to 50,000 N, or 50 kN. If you're looking at things in orders of magnitude, that's 5/104 N. Now, I am not a physicist, but a quick Wikipedia search tells me that 45 kN is about the force produced by a small car during peak acceleration. 50 kN is half the force exerted by a seatbelt and airbag on a passenger if they crashed headlong into a wall at 100 km/h. The maximum force ever exerted by a human during a clean and jerk lift is 8 kN. Hippos don't frick around. Hippos were the one thing Steve Irwin actively stayed way clear of. In a fox couple, if the vixen dies, the male fox will become single for the rest of his life. Now if the male fox dies, the vixen goes off to find another partner. These hoes ain't loyal. There's an intelligent species of jumping spider called as the Portia spider. These little munchkins are specialized spider hunters, with different tactics for a particular problem. Their favorite food is the common weaving spiders. Their tactics ranges from imitating a fallen debris on the prey's web to directly attacking the prey. Their venoms are potent against spiders as it will only take seconds to paralyze the prey. I hate spiders, and I'm not going to Google that one, but it gives me a weird comfort to know there's a spider hitman out there. The Nautilus has remained essentially unchanged for 400 million years. They just evolved to their current form and stayed that way. The first dinosaurs didn't even appear until 230 million years ago. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Coelacanth is an example of living fossil. Basically didn't evolve change over the course of known time. Woodpeckers' tongues are super long and wrap around their skull inside their head to provide cushioning for their brain when they peck. When a male octopus is ready to mate, it rips off its ding-dong and throws it at the female so she can do whatever she wants with it. The reason they do this is because they're a lot smaller than the female, so she'll eat the male, but on the plus side the male octopus will grow his ding-dong back eventually. Here, go frick yourself, male octopus. The blobfish looks like a normal fish underwater, but since order a deep sea fish, the depressurization make it look like what we see in pictures. I really want to see a blobfish underwater now. One of my favorites is about cats. Did you know that they have UV vision? That means that when cats play with random paper balls, bags, spots on the wall, or the box their toy came in, they're actually playing with the ingredients that are UV reactant, like glues and stuff. PS. Zebras' stripes are as unique as fingerprints, and they can tell each other apart. Something else about cats, not only do they purr when they are happy relaxed, but sometimes they purr when scared or threatened. Bald eagles don't sound like they do on TV. They dub over the call of a red-tailed hawk. Actual bald eagle calls sound more like a seagull. Similarly, lion roars on TV are usually dubbed over with tiger roars, because an actual lion roar is usually too deep to record well, so it sounds weak, but apparently is terrifying eye roll. Have camped in a tent in Africa. Lion roars are definitely not weak eye roll. The word for penguin in Mandarin translates to business goose. Casual Friday was never an option. Gorillas, along with other primates, can learn sign language to the point where even if they do not know a specific word for a specific object, they can use their previous vocabulary to describe the word accurately. Like for example, Coco the gorilla never learned the word for ring, so one day she pointed at a ring and signed the words, finger bracelet. An immortal species of jellyfish. They can revert back to a sexually immature polyp to start its life over once it becomes old or sick. This is the best kind of immortal because if you decide you don't want to live anymore, you can still die. Axolotl facts. 1. The ferns on an axolotl's head are actually its gills. 2. Axolotl is a Mexican word that translates to water dog. 3. Xolotl was a dog-headed god from Aztec mythology. Xolotl would lead the souls of the dead to the underworld. Some believe that Xolotl was scared of being killed by an angry king and transformed into an axolotl to hide. The salamander is trapped in the water of Xochimilco, unable to transform and walk on land due to forgetting how to transform back into the god it once was. 4. They can regenerate parts of their body. If they lose a limb, it will grow back. 5. Axolotls are resistant to cancer, over 600% more than us humans. 6. They have no eyelids and prefer it where it's dark. 7. They also have no teeth, but they have ridges similar to Velcro to grip their food and vacuum it down to their stomachs. 8. They have a characteristic called neoteny, meaning that they keep their juvenile trays even if they're full grown. 9. They have a chance of evolving into a tiger salamander, but this is a rare occurrence that only happens if the axolotl's parents have the gene in them, usually due to crossbreeding. 10. They're critically endangered in the wild, with only a couple of their habitat lakes existing. I think you're mixing up your facts with 9. They don't evolve into a different species. That's not possible. You can inject them with hormones that make them metamorphosize out of their neotenic phase that you already mentioned. The adult phase resembles tiger salamanders, because the two species are closely related, but still separate species. There is a species of zombie worm called the bone-eating snotflower. Yes, zombie worms and bone-eating snotflowers are real animals. Sheep don't like to walk in water or move through narrow openings. They prefer to move into the wind and uphill rather than downwind and downhill. A group of dolphins is a pod. A group of falcons is a cast. When you watch the Miami Dolphins play the Atlanta Falcons, you are watching a podcast on TV. Gladiator spiders have the largest eyes of all other spider species. This is kinda disadvantageous though, because they go blind every day due to not being able to close them. However, they regenerate their eyes every evening night so they can survive. Also, New World tarantulas has a defense mechanism where they use their back legs to rub off and kick hairs from their abdomen at their attackers. They are super itchy and a pain in the ass to get rid of. Those gladiator spiders are at the Greek mythology level. Sperm whales can click so loud that it can kill you. It can reach 230 decibels. They're the loudest animals alive. Louder than a jet engine. Louder than you can comprehend. Scientists think that sperm whales understand that they can hurt us with their vocalizations, and are intentionally quieter around humans. Even then, it will still frick you up. A hummingbird weighs less than a penny and is the only bird who can fly backwards, and is always 2 hours away from starvation. There is an extinct species of bee that we only know exists because there is an orchid whose naughty parts mimic the bee in order to trick them into pollinating it. The flahor. Male giraffes will headbutt a female in the bladder until she urinates, then it tastes the pee to help it determine whether or not the female is ovulating. That is so romantic. In 11 million years time the Tyrannosaurus rex dinosaur will have been extinct for 77 million years. This is way less time than the time the Stegosaurus had been extinct when the T-Rex was alive 66 million years ago. Really puts evolutionary history in perspective. Sort of like how Cleopatra lived closer to the industrial age than to the building of the pyramids. Owls can sit cross-legged. The big cat with the strongest bite force, C, is the jaguar, 1700C. Male anglerfish are much smaller than the females, and when the female is ready to mate she excretes a pheromone which makes the male hungry. He will then try to eat her, but he then gets stuck to her, dissolves until the only thing that remains are his testicles. I have an ex that does this. Giraffes chew on bones to give them extra calcium. Leopard pee smells like buttered popcorn. A group of zebras are called a dazzle. A cat slowly blinking at you means they're relaxed and comfortable in your company. Sharks have electric sensors in their noses that help them locate prey. If you ever feel you're about to be attacked, rub their noses. This sends them into a natural high where they float around like a dead fish. Shark attacks are incredibly rare. They aren't vicious animals at all. They're actually very shy and curious by nature. Guinea pigs can die from loneliness. A goldfish's natural lifespan is around 30 years. Common causes for early death are stress and inadequate housing, such as a dirty filter or an unbalanced acid and bacteria ratio in the water. A pig's body structure is uncannily similar to a human's. Scientists study pig corpses to give a strong educated guess as to how decomposing would work. It's also apparent that human meat would taste very much like pork. A chinchilla's hair are so fine, you would need 5 hairs to match the thickness of a human hair. The mantis shrimp, while also having the ability to see 16 primary colors, it has a punch so hard string that it creates a vacuum inside the water between its leg and the prey, as well as boiling the surrounding water. Dogs can see farts. The difference between a turtle, tortoise and terrapin is in the legs and their environment. A turtle is large, has 4 flat flippers and lives in salt water. A tortoise is land-dwelling and has 4 stubbly legs. A terrapin is about the size of a tortoise, has 4 legs with webbed feet and lives in fresh water. Shrews have heartbeats of about 800, 1000 BPM, are venomous, unique among mammals, and can starve to death if they don't eat within every 2-3 hours. Ants will always find the fastest route back to their hill. You can pick up an ant and drop it somewhere totally new away from its anthill, and it will always immediately find the fastest way home. 6-leg GPS. Snow leopards have one part of their body which hasn't got any fur, their nose. They use their tail as a scarf to keep their nose warm. They also have a chamber in their throat so that when they inhale cold air, it can get as low as -40 degrees in the Himalayas. It can be trapped there and warmed up so that their lungs aren't frozen when the air gets there. Capsaicin, the neuropeptide that makes hot peppers hot, has no effect on birds. They don't have the same taste receptors that we do. I've seen many a prank of people feeding a hot pepper to their parrot and scaring the heck out of spectators who aren't aware of this fact. My kindergartner is doing a research paper on horned lizards. They shoot blood out of their eyes to get away from canines. Apparently they don't like the taste. The black-footed cat has a 60% kill rate, which is the highest of any cat in the world, and it's only about 14 inches long. Wiki says it can slit a giraffe's throat, but they don't elaborate. Sounds like a rumor, but it kills 10 animals a day. Sounds very endangered though. Sits and meditates for hours with its eyes closed listening at an animal burrow, lol. Which are cats? When a mantis shrimp strikes, it produces so much energy that the shockwave produced can form light, and the collapse heats the water up to above the temperature of the sun. The whole producing light bit is known as sonoluminescence. Orcas have emotions like humans. maybe even stronger. Orcas also play with their food before eating it and are scary smart. They sometimes swim in formation to make a wave to push a sea lion off of an iceberg so they can eat it. The mantis shrimp has 12 different color cones in their eyes, and humans only have 3, red, yellow, blue. This means when you look at a 6-colored rainbow, the mantis shrimp sees dozens and dozens of colors in each of the 6 that we cannot see in that pattern. Plus, the shrimp itself is absolutely gorgeous looking. Betta fish are one of the few aquarium fish that are capable of loving their owner, and the only ones capable of have mental disorders, i.e., depression. They are also one of the smartest aquarium fish species. False. Many cichlid species grow attached to owners, die of broken heart syndrome when their lifelong partner dies, and are incredibly intelligent. Cats have terrible vision at short distances, and are about 15-20 cm. Their retinas have far more rods to cones, which gives them amazing sight in low light, but not great for close range colors. That's why they often seem like they can't see something you put in front of them. They often can't. Caterpillars excrete enzymes that dissolve their body almost completely into a soup inside the cocoon before the few cells that remain use the soup to regrow as a completely new animal. It's the closest thing to reincarnation that you can actually observe. Sheep can raise or lower their body temperature by 5 degrees to stay warm or cool. Their wool also not only keeps them warm but insulates them against the heat. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.